Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Elijah Monet, and on this episode of Moments with Monet, it's gonna be real chill. We're gonna have a heart-to-heart about letting go and letting God honestly just transform you and to actually lead you into all that He has for you, right? And so I know it's hard for us to talk about these type of things, and that's kind of my thing. I like talking about the things that people don't want to talk about, right? But the truth is that letting go and letting God is very difficult. It takes a lot of faith, it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of heart for you to let go of things in order to receive from God, right? And I think that's like the most beautiful thing about your journey in your relationship with God and Christianity is that God now is allowing you to receive, right? Everything that He has in store for you through His mercy and His grace, right? And so for me, letting go and letting God was probably one of the hardest things I had to do because at the time when I actually started my relationship with God, I had a lot of things that I loved. Like I had so many things in my life, so many people and relationships that I didn't want to let go of. And in a sense, I was actually creating the life that I wanted, you know? I had a boyfriend that I was like, yep, he's going to be my husband. I was at a job where I was like, you know what? This is good. I'm comfortable here. You know, I was at different events and different clubs that I thought were okay. And God, when He came into my life, like just began to really shift a lot of things around. And if you're somebody who's had that happen in your life, I need you to go ahead and drop a comment in the chat because I need to know that I am not alone throughout this journey. And I need other people to know that you're not alone as well. And you know, whenever you start to grow closer to God and you start making them prayers, you know, them prayers is like, God, if so-and-so is not supposed to be in my life, remove them. And then He'd be like, everybody's gone. Everybody's gone. Now you're in a season of isolation and you just really don't know what to do. It's like, it's so crazy because that's probably the best place for us to be. And a lot of the times, like we run from that process, but it's good because it's like when people do leave your life, you have to understand that it's because they are no longer serving you, right? And God is showing you that through them making the decision to either leave or for you making the decision for you to separate yourself from those things, right? And I know a lot of you guys might be listening and you're probably like, okay, how do I know that something doesn't serve me? And the truth is you will know when things don't serve you or they don't serve you any longer when they're not bringing the best out of you. They're not promoting growth in you. They're not, allowing you to be built in a way that's positive, in a way that's closest to your highest self, right? And when it comes to this platform, I am all about personal development, sisterhood. And so if things aren't actually looking like the best version of you, if they're pulling out negativity or they're pulling out your brokenness, reminding you of your insecurities, those are the things that are not for you anymore, right? Things that make you feel stuck and stagnant, they're not serving you. They're not, benefiting you. They're not adding on to you. And so they're taking away. And if things are taking away from you, that's how you'll know. And the truth is that sometimes that can be tricky because some things can come into your life for a season and serve you in one season and not serve you in the next. And so for me, letting go and letting God really look like me allowing God to like transform me in those areas. Like I can remember at one specific time in my life where I was actually working at a job that was so toxic. Like the environment, the management was all about power and proving a point to you that they had this upper hand. And so for me, like I was so okay with staying there because of the people that I was working with, that I was actually putting my peace up for, debate. I was really putting up my mental health, and I had to realize like my mental health and my peace in my work environment means more to me than the money that I'm making. And so I had to like actually pivot and let that go in order to receive, the next dimension, the next chapter that God had for me. And even when you do that, like it can be hard and scary and intimidating. But I can personally say that I'm at a job now that has a really great work environment and I'm working with some really great people and I'm making even more money than I was before. And even though this isn't my final destination, I know that I'm still on the path that's leading me to where God is taking me in life, right? And even with relationships, if you're in a relationship that is pulling out your brokenness, pulling out your traumas, making you feel insecure, making you feel less than, or just continuously just bashing you, bringing you down, bringing toxicity into your life, And yes, I said toxicity, okay? Toxicity is not it for us on this channel, right? We don't like to be stuck, we don't like to be stagnant, and we don't like toxic, okay? And so if that's happening in your relationship, then you have to kind of make that decision if it's worth it and if it's serving you. Because, I don't know, I think to an extent, situations that are bad can serve you and they can actually, show you what you don't want. And that's great. But once you learn that lesson, like, you gotta kind of keep going, right? And really allow God to allow what he has for you to actually be presented to you. And of course, we cannot talk about letting go and letting God without talking about the wait. And I really honestly think that the wait is the best part of the journey, because as you're waiting on God, you're collecting so many gems and treasures along the way. You're learning yourself, you're discovering your peace, like you are actually growing as a person. And as you're doing that, you're attracting the things that God really has in store for you, even if you're unconsciously doing it, because you're becoming somebody who has an appetite for healthiness. You're learning your boundaries, like you're attracted to people who communicate well, things like that, right? Because as you're growing, you just really do no longer have an appetite for the things that you once did before. And I could testify for that. And so as we are, letting go and letting God, I really wanted to focus on just 3 things to share with you guys. And that is that as you're in the process of waiting on God, to focus on your inward self. And as you are focusing on that, make sure that you focus on your state of being, what season you're in. You might be in a season where you are really unpacking your past traumas, or you might be in a season where you're learning and God is like, I need you to listen to these audios, and I need you to read these books, and I need you to worship, and I need you to learn how to X, Y, and Z. And so focus on the season that you're in, because your season might look completely different than mine. And that doesn't mean that you're not right where you need to be. And the next thing I wanted to really talk about is, focusing on the journey, not necessarily focusing on a timeline. I know for me, I was just kind of at one point in time like, okay, by 25, I want to be successful, I want to be X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. And that's okay. That's so great to have ambition. And it's so great for you to work towards the things that you have a desire in your heart to have. But it's also important for you to know that there's not a timeline on what God is going to do in your life. He might be waiting for you to turn X, Y, and Z for you to do it. Or he might do it tomorrow. Like, you never really know. And so don't focus on, okay, I'm not where I need to be. Just kind of focus on what you're learning, how you're growing, how you're evolving, and just your mindset. Focus on the things that you can control, which is you, your heart, your spirit, your mind, your body. So, as you're in the process of letting go and as you're in the process of the wait, just make sure that you're focusing on your well-being, as well as, not putting a timeline on what God is going to do in your life, but embracing the journey along the way, so that when God does add things onto you, it's not necessarily a burden. It will be like you're almost preparing for what it is that's in store. And so the last thing is just really to follow the instructions that God has for you in the season. If he's like, okay, I need you to serve in this season, that means that you find every opportunity to serve. Okay, you're gonna be at the church, you're gonna be serving your friendships, you're gonna be like in your house trying to help your mom out, whatever the case may be. Like, if you are in a serving season, then you serve. That's what you do, because that's what God gave you in this season, right? And then it's like, if you're in a season where God is like, I need you to go to therapy, okay, well, you need to go to therapy. If God is telling you, okay, in this season, I need you to be listening to audios that help your mindset, that means you're going to be tearing down them paradigms that you got, those things that you once knew, so you can go ahead and kind of like get a revelation of where God is trying to take you, right? And of course, just being in your worship and in your prayer closet, because as you're waiting on God, like, you just want to make sure that you're close and you're connected to your source, which is him, right? And as you're connected to him, then you know that everything is working together for your good. And I have to tell myself this all the time, so I hope you guys adopt this type of mindset. And if you don't, then I hope that you kind of just take this into perspective, right? Because this is me sharing my life and my journey with you guys in the hopes that y'all will become the best version of yourself. And that doesn't mean you have to be just like me, but it means that I do feel like I have a perspective that can help you grow. And I feel super honored to be able to do that. And so I would say, in the mornings when I wake up, I'm always like, I believe that God is leading me. And because God is leading me, I believe that everything that happens today is for a reason. It's building me, it's strengthening me, and it's for my greater good. And so I have to really be conscious about that. And I be conscious about the things that come my way. Because if they don't serve me, then they have no access to me, right? Like access is denied. And if things are serving me, and if I feel connected to something in a way, then I allow it to get close to me and really do what it's purposes in my life, right? And so I really just wanted to end this video by encouraging you guys to not be scared of letting go of the things that you know God is telling you to let go of, and to embrace where it is that God is taking you, because where he's taking you is going to be everything that you need and everything that you want and more, right? So stay encouraged for this week. I love you guys so much, and I do want to apologize to anybody who's watching these videos who is actually set on Fridays, because I know that this is a little bit off. The last two videos have been a little bit off. Please forgive me. You know, as I'm continuing to grow, there's a lot of things that come to me throughout the week, and so sometimes I get very overwhelmed. But either way, just know a video is coming to you guys every single week. I literally love you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. I will see you guys soon.